Presented by the Branson and Hudson Foundation for Podcast Recovery. This podcast is entitled The Dish. It is the first and only episode of the podcast. Welcome to episode 1.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Dish, presented by MeWeekly.com. The Dish, all things about the most famous people you love or hate, the latest celebrity news, who's dating who's cheating on who, and even who's had a little bit of trouble with the law. I'm Casey Komoda, and today is a special day. We are live with our first episode of The Dish. Everyone at MeWeekly.com has been working very hard putting this whole thing together. We even did something very special. We presented a contest allowing one single fan to come on the show for the very first episode. Not just any fan, our biggest fan, and someone that loves celebrity news, celebrity gossip, the glitz and the glam, movies, TV shows, reality TV especially, music, you name it. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be getting into the nitty gritty, maybe a little bit filthy at times, but that's what we love about it. So, this person loves this stuff just as much as we do, and we're glad to have him on. Walt Tremblay, welcome to The Dish.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm just so happy to kind of get in here and start talking to you about the celebrities and dishing and whatnot. I know I'm a little old. I'm an older type man, but you know what? I pay a lot of attention to pop culture. I got my finger on the pulse of what's going on, and I care about who these young people are sleeping with and who they're cheating on each other with through sleeping. And I'm ready to get started, Casey. I'm ready to dish. It's a big dream of mine to be on a program like this.
Well, we're happy to have you on, Walt. Welcome. We got a lot to talk about today, but I want to ask you first, how did you win the contest? You know, Me Weekly had a very hard time selecting a winner, but it seems like you knew you're going to win this whole thing.
I knew it. It was written in the stars. It was destined I was going to do it. I'm just so happy to have all this kind of good stuff and whatnot. Listen, you guys had a lot of stuff on Dasani water bottles to kind of win, right? And you had stuff on, it was all a Nestle Corporation thing. Well, guess what? Nobody eats more Stouffer's lasagna than Walt Tremblay. I get the big pack, you know, the tray, where it's a frozen tray in the aluminum tin. You pop it, you pop it right in your oven, even when it's frozen. It'll cook the whole thing out.
All those carbs, that's a big no-no. You should know that.
Hey, a guy like me, right at my age, you know, what do I got to lose, Casey? You a young gun and whatnot, but I got nothing. I popped the whole Stouffer's lasagna tray into the oven. Bada boom, bada bing. You don't even have to preheat it. It'll tell you when it's done, right? And I go in and I eat the Stouffer's lasagna and I rip open the back side of the box because that's where they got the little, what is it, a QR code? Is that what it's called? Where you scan it with your phone?
Oh, you got it. Wow, you really are up on the times.
Code? I'm up on the times. Listen, Casey, I may be 59 years young, but I got a Snapchat. I got a TikTok, right?
Oh, TikTok, yes.
I scan my QR code.
Might have to get into a little bit of those later.
Well, you know, hopefully I watch a lot of the guys like Little Gary. Love Little Gary. So small. What a small man Little Gary is.
He's quite tiny.
You know, it's petite, if I might say so, in a non-feminizing manner. But listen, I eat upwards of 2 Stouffer's lasagnas a day, right? And, you know, I'm not a big breakfast guy. I have my coffee. I like to sit with it, right? I like to sit with it, not to be bothered. But then
I
lunch
gotta have
and
my
dinner,
Starbucks, you know, every day.
I'm a McDonald's guy. I need nothing fancy for old Walt. You want to waste all that cream on Walt Tremblay? No, thank you, please.
How do you take your coffee, Walt?
I like it nice and black, right? Just black with about 10 sugars.
Really are a classic American everyman. You're like a guy in a movie, Walt. It's amazing.
I'm blushing. I'd love to be in a movie. You know, it doesn't
I'm kind
happen
of
for
liking
some
your
people.
whole style. You just feel like kind of like somebody you don't really see, especially here in LA, where no one is really down to earth. Everyone is
Hey.
trying to be something that they're not, to be honest. You would know better than anyone, being a big fan from Me Weekly. But, you know, you kind of got this whole, you know, middle Americana thing about you. I feel like Lana Del Rey could write an album about you, to be honest.
I'd step one foot into Hollywood and they'd say, you gotta go. You gotta go.
You'd be surprised. Hollywood is looking for something different lately, and you never know. They might want some like old disgusting
What would
looking man.
Hollywood want with little old Walt Tremblay, huh? What would they want? What would they do with
maybe
me?
we
I'd
could
show
discuss
up in my
that
Pacers jacket and I'd be over there waving hello at the famous Chinese theater. That's actually what it's called. That's not me being racist. It's actually what it's called. And I'd wave and say, oh, come and say hello to old Walt Tremblay, you know, whatever.
Well, I am excited to be doing the
I
show
get the
today.
meat sauce with the Stofers. I didn't know if I said that. I like the reduced fat meat sauce kind of that they have. They have a one that's more ricotta based. And I think that also I could have won the contest with that. But I'm more of I read in Atkins that you reduce the carbs. I read that in Atkins magazine,
Well,
I think.
Atkins is like 20 years late.
It was at my doctor's office. He's always yelling at me. He says, Walt, you got to change something. You're getting too much salt. You're getting too much bread-based products. And I'm
I
like,
think
"Why
your
am I
problem
eating
is that
bread?"
you're eating. I think the problem is that you're eating.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know what they want from me. I'm just eating the lean cuisine lasagna. As far as I know, there's no bread in it, so I don't know what the big deal is. But yeah, I won the contest. I'm looking forward to talking about all these great celebrities, these young men and women that are doing so much and singing all their great songs. Hopefully trying to get some shout outs out there for the celebs I like, you know, Johnny Carson, Nicolas Cage. Not as big on like Meghan Trainor anymore, but I'm sure that'll come up later.
Okay, well, that sounds a little bit juicier to me, so we're gonna have to get into that. Walt, can I ask you, how did you really get into celebrity gossip? Have you always been a fan? What do you really love about, you know, discussing what's going on with the stars and behind the scenes? And there's something about, I think, for a lot of us where we just, it's just, you know, how could you not be into it? But for you, what is it about?
Exactly. How could I not be into it? I like going around. I like talking to people. I like saying about stuff and looking at a thing. And when I see a thing, you know, I'm a very outspoken man. I say exactly what I see, what I think about anything at any given time, with very little impulse to tell me to stop. So I see something on the TV, I say, oh, that's no good. I don't like that at all. I watch The Masked Singer. I'm like, oh, I hope they never take the masks off because I like seeing the little dances and guessing, right? I just have opinions constantly, opinions. And when you say enough of them, you know, with my wife, I need to say ex-wife. Well, technically still my wife. It's a technical thing where we're legally still married. But anyway, she wants nothing to do with me. And, you know, she doesn't want to hear what I have to say, right? You know, I don't have any kids for an older man. You know, I got a brother. He's got his own thing going on. He doesn't want old Walt calling. I can tell he kind of does the, what's the thing where you just reject a call? Because no phone on the earth rings twice and then they're like, get out of here, you know? But, you know, so I got to talk to somebody and I got to get all these opinions out of me or I'm going to burst. So, you know, I watch the television and they have the morning news and they say like all these young celebrities like Lisa Lampanelli, they're out there drunk driving their cars. And I'm like, they should be doing that. And there's no one here to hear me. So it kind of comes naturally that I gravitate towards like celebrity stuff because, you know, there's a lot of like-minded people out there that want to talk about it.
Well, I want to talk about some of the hottest stuff that's been on TV lately. I mean, reality TV has dominated since the early 2000s. I was, you know, in middle school, but Survivor, even I can remember the impact that Survivor had when it first came out. You know, you had guys like Richard walking around naked. So, Walt, what was your experience with? Are you a Survivor fan?
I have a very Richard-like body. I'm not too proud to say. I know I could lie to your podcast audience here and tell.
So we
hey,
can't be expecting you on Too Hot to
Right.
Handle.
Right. No, I don't want to tell the listeners here that I'm 6'8" with six-pack abs and, you know, a body that doesn't quit. One of those butts that kind of look like loaves of like cornbread just stuck to your butt. I don't look like that. I sag, wrinkle up. I smoked a lot of cigarettes for a long period of time, which aged me. I haven't taken very good care of myself, and I definitely form a kind of Richard Hatch type body. Unfortunately, the difference between me and him is I would never burden anyone else by looking at my awful body. When he walked around nude, it's almost like he likes it being yelled at, in which case, Richard Hatch, I should tell you, you need to start dating my wife, ex-wife. Well, legally still my wife, but we are separated, and there is zero hope of reconciliation.
Okay, I'm sorry, I almost called you Richard. Your body is similar to his.
Thank you. I mean, yes, I agree. I guess it's not a compliment. I just
What about
assumed...
other stuff? You got these crazy shows about these people with extravagant lives and all the drama involved. Like Vanderpump Rules, for once. What do you got to say about?
I love watching her. She's almost all latex now, but she's very composed, and she almost tries to be like a mother for those kids that are going around fucking each other. I'm sorry. I know I should. I guess you can bleep it or whatever. Is this like one of the catty ones where I can say
yes,
it?
I love it. You're making it like a little bit. Yeah, this is where we're getting a little bit dicey.
Can I be catty? Is it a catty one where I can say that?
Oh,
listen.
You can say we can edit this. That's the beauty of it all. But
she's a great
be
lady.
careful where you're wandering, Walt.
I don't have the kind of money to be involved with her romantically. And she looks like an old model sex doll. And she has surrounded herself with a lot of mentally deficient adults that are young so that she can give guidance to them and then yell at them all of the time in order to look more reasonable. And that's basically every senile person's dream. To just surround themselves with incompetent people so that everyone is reminded that you are still relevant. It's a great move. It's a great move. And I think she's a genius. I want all the little dogs on that show to be killed, though. I just think they're wasting space, wasting resources, they're yipping. They need to get rid of all those dogs, and then we'll be good.
Okay, well, I want to move on to what do you think about...
And the guy keeps cheating. He keeps cheating on that one Southern woman, which has taught America a very important lesson about what type of women are okay to cheat on. You can cheat on the Southern ones that value loyalty. Those are good women if you are a young man who is not ready to settle down, but wants to maybe run for political office or something. You find a nice dim-witted Southern woman and you can cheat on her all the time, and you just say learning and growing, and they just let you do it. It's beautiful.
Well, I want to talk to you about, I mean, I'm not sure if you're a fan, but the latest season of The Bachelor.
Oh yeah, The Bachelor. They always
have you
get
been watching it? I mean, did you watch it?
Yeah. I mean,
Peter Weber.
What else do I gotta do?
Peter Weber, 28 years old. He's a pilot that works for Delta. Very handsome guy. Who wouldn't want to be with him?
Pilot. We were just talking about cheating on Southern women. That's another great job for unfaithful men. I tell you what, that guy is gonna be, oh, blue, 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 I'm looking for love. And then he's surrounded by 20 pieces of, forgive me if this is rude, piping hot tang, if I'm being honest. And you're just going to say, oh, you can take this and you're going to go fly your little planes and whatever. He's not even a millionaire. They didn't even get a millionaire, right?
I don't believe he has that kind of
He's
financial.
done for. They're gone the second the show's over. Listen, buddy, do whatever you want to do on the show. It doesn't matter. Maybe fall in love with a woman and get some sympathy so you can get a second season, huh? How about that?
What about 9-Day Fiance? Well, if you were to meet a woman online, do you think?
I've met tons of women online.
You have?
Oh, all the time. They're always messaging me. They never use my first name unless it's in my profile. They say they want to, it's usually people with names like Deborah 082634777899. Me and Deborah 0846776699. We went on like 10 dates, and she's just all credit card this, social security that, and I'm like, you're not listening, I'm still married, and so
you've never actually met any of these women.
Oh no, they live so far away. I've never left the country. It's such a hassle.
What if you were to meet one of them? Would you consider asking one of them to marry you?
Oh, probably not. That sounds like a whole bag of worms, doesn't it? Would you do that? I'm sorry. Are you?
No.
Are you?
No.
Are you? I know a lot of the gossip guys. I don't know how to put this nice. Homosexual kind of guy.
Am I gay?
Or?
Yeah,
well,
you wish. Well,
hey, don't get me started on that. Hey, if I was gay, I'd look way better than this. I've seen old gay guys. They look like sphinxes, right? They got the white hair trimmed nice and tight, pointing straight up, with those glasses. I don't know where they find those hard rimmed glasses. Older gay men, now they got something. They got some secrets that they're not telling us straights. I wish I was gay. Casey, I wish I was gay. I really wish I was gay. Huh? I wouldn't look like this. Right?
You might look different. I mean, I could see you maybe.
I'd be wearing some bonobos. I see ads for those. I don't know.
I could see you maybe like dating some like Tim Gunn or something, like a distinguished, celebrity.
I see. They got Victor Oladipo wearing Express for Men, those nice suits, and he's dunking basketball in the suit. You see,
Or maybe you could have some kind of.
Maybe
you could have like some extravagant style, and you're known for like other older gay men like Jeff Goldblum or something like that. But
yeah, he's one of the pioneers of gay culture, with all the autism and whatnot.
Now, before I bring up the sort of the great white whale of reality TV and really kind of celebrity gossip at times, I want to ask you, if you were to go on The Masked Singer, which I know you said in your profile is probably your favorite show.
I love it.
What would your costume be? And would it kind of, I mean, I believe the show works with the people, but like what kind of clues would you insert to show that people, like maybe people would be able to figure out it's you? Not that anyone would be able to guess that, except Nick Cannon will know for sure because he always knows. He always guesses right. So what would you pick? Like, how would you go about that? Do you think?
I don't think I would ever have the privilege of being on The Masked Singer.
Let's just pretend, because I mean, you're on Me Weekly.
Hey, it could be big things for Walt Tremblay. A 59-year-old man very often goes from nothing to complete stardom. I'm sure it'll happen soon.
Happened to Susan Boyle, just a disgusting woman that everyone cried over.
Awful name. Should have changed the name. It's like Susan Zitz. Anyway, moving along. All right, so I want to throw everyone off with my Masked Singer costume, right? Everybody's like, oh, I'm the bear. I'm the ice cream scoop. I'm the HPV virus. Everyone's got this crazy costume, right? My costume is going to be the winner of The Masked Singer. I'm going to have a costume that makes me look like Wayne Brady. And I cleared this with my ex-wife. She said it's technically, she's not a lawyer, but she said it was okay. She said that technically wouldn't be blackface. If I wear an entire body costume where I look like Wayne Brady, I'm wearing a nice silk shirt, gold and black pattern. kind of out of the Who's Line days, right? And so my costume character would be the Wayne Brady, right? And my song would be
like a giant cartoon, like mascot Wayne Brady.
Exactly. You nailed it, Casey. You nailed it.
I mean, he kind of did, pander to your generation and the people that are like you for a great amount of time.
Listen, he could be on any cruise he wanted from here to Alaska, and everyone on there would be fucking clapping their hands, getting blisters on their wrinkled old hands, clapping for Wayne Brady. But I would sing. The song I would sing would be "Heaven Is a Place on Earth" by Belinda Carlisle.
Very good song.
Knock the fucking house down. How about that, huh?
I thought I could see you doing that, but also maybe performing something, maybe like Celine Dion's famous Titanic song.
Oh, God, that'd be
I could
beautiful.
see you pulling that off, having the whole place breaking down in tears at this ginormous-headed Wayne Brady mascot.
Well, I also like that song with Pink, where she says God's a DJ, right? I like that song with Pink. She looks like she's got the short hair, the short pink hair. The internet hair, but it was before that time, so she's not woohoo. She's not one of those types. You know what I mean?
I don't.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like a little, some people go some people go,
like a lesbian.
forward.
You could say it, Walt.
Yeah.
This is 2020. That would be ridiculous. I mean,
she
is not. But
she
I know.
bats for the. She throws the football on the wrong side of the field.
Well, I'm getting the feeling that you're kind of afraid of people from the LGBT community.
I just don't want to be yelled at. That's what a guy like me, right? I'm frankly, my skin is flaky. I'm ripe to just be. They call it roasted. The kids call it roasting. And looking at me, I got to be very careful with what I say, because my self-confidence is at the fucking floor. And if these lesbians, or whatever they are, if they roast me, I'm a dead man, Casey. I'm a dead man. You get that, right? I
Image
make one
is everything,
wrong move.
but remember,
make one wrong move. I'm a fucking dead man, Casey.
Walt, calm down.
I got these
want you to remember.
skin tags. I roll up my sleeves. I got skin tags.
Jesus.
Look at these things. I'm done. I'm done. These teens will mop the floor.
You can have those removed by a dermatologist. So.
Oh, yeah. Let me just go to the doctor. Let me just spend my money at the doctor. And not on Stouffer's lasagna that's frozen. Okay. It's not that easy, Casey. If I say one wrong thing to these lesbians on TikTok, they're going to kill me. They're going to wipe the floor with me. I'm done. Done.
Well, I want you to remember something that we always say around here.
I'm sweating. I'm fucking flop sweating now, Casey. Oh, I got so scared thinking about it.
Even bad publicity is publicity.
Oh, my God. They're going to kill me. You remember that 5'4" guy? That 5'4" guy that was on the sandwich. Everybody got mad at him. I haven't heard a single thing from him since then.
What are you talking about?
He was a short man, and he yelled about... I'm not as short as him, but he was a short man. And he yelled some slurs or something, and they killed him, I think. I think he's been proven dead, right?
Well, it says that you applied to not only Shark Tank, but also the Canadian version, Dragon's Den, with a patent. What was your plan? They didn't accept you. What were you going to pitch? You had a business model or an invention or something that maybe you thought could be a good business. And this was only a year and a half ago.
All right, so I hate to sound like a broken record here, but you know Stouffer's frozen lasagna, right?
Yes,
I know I
you've
brought
talked
that up
about
a lot.
yes,
Yeah,
you did.
I
Yep.
know. And trust me, I did not fucking mean to talk about Stouffer's frozen lasagna so much before I came on here. I apologize thoroughly. But listen,
Well,
all
you,
right, so
you don't. You want to take off your jacket? You're sweating.
Yeah, I'm sweating, but
Well, this is Los Angeles.
The skin tags are gonna come out, and it's just they're gonna touch everything. Listen, all right, so I had a great idea, and I still think this is a great idea, where you can steam vegetables by funneling a lot of the heat from the stove of lasagna through a center hole that goes up and steams the vegetables at the same time while you cook the lasagna. It's a little bag that you put in your oven, and it kind of goes in and it cooks them real good. So, because I never get to eat any vegetables with my stove of lasagna because there's not an easy way to cook it, because it's always doing it in the oven and what. It doesn't matter. It was a stupid idea. They called me stupid. Mark Cuban spit on me. He spit on me. I was wearing sandals. They got on my shoe. They got my foot, like my actual skin.
What did Kevin O'Leary say to you?
Kevin O'Leary.
Did you even meet him? They didn't accept you for the full show.
They came backstage to yell at me about how bad it was. He had his fingers crossed the whole time. He called me a dumbass. He said,
so they filmed it, but they didn't. Okay, they didn't show it. I got you.
Well, no, I was back. I never made it to the front stage. They said this guy's not getting on TV.
How did they allow you backstage? I mean, did you sneak?
I mean, I expected to get on. I filled out the thing.
You're very forgettable looking man. I feel like that you could slip by anywhere.
I'm also incredibly persistent, and you just go. You go play. What am I gonna do? What do I have to do during the day? You just go places.
So you one of those guys who hangs outside trailers for an autograph or anything like that, or?
I'm not a big autograph guy, but I will want to talk to people.
I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe you're not a big autograph guy.
What am I gonna do with an autograph? What am I gonna do with it? I just want to talk to people.
Well, when we today when you got here, you asked me for mine, so.
Well, I like to go and I like to wait outside of like sports arenas in the back, and I like to say stuff like, can I get an autograph? And you sell it on eBay, right? You get them to sign a basketball, you sell it on eBay. It's not a big market for it anymore, like in the Jordan days.
So you used to have a lot of autographs that you held on to, or?
I sold. They don't mean nothing to me. It's just the way, I have an interesting lifestyle, and you got to figure out how to make money where you can. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting grilled now. I feel like
if someone were to offer you like a Kim Basinger autograph right now for free, you wouldn't take it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'd take it. That's just me being
you would. I knew it. Yeah, you're a nut. You're an
kind
autograph.
of a. Listen, I feel like I'm getting skewed here. I feel like this is.
I'm not. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just more old school, and I love that about you, Walt. I love that about you, and I think that.
Skewed.
Well, I want to bring up lastly for reality.
The TikTok lesbians are gonna have my fucking
All right, let's
head.
All right, Walt, let's stay on track here. Come on, buddy. All right,
I'm trying. I'm freaking the fuck out, Casey. It's a big deal for me.
I can see your heartbeat in your neck.
It's comical. It's a condition. I have Looney Tunes heart disorder. It literally beats 2 inches out of my chest. Look at it. It's even heart-shaped. It's not supposed to look like that. The human heart is more of like a kidney bean. And this is like a straight classic comic book heart.
Do you have like missing ribs there, or like what? How's that possible?
It just gets in. I don't know what to tell you, Casey.
It doesn't make any sense. Let's talk about like I said, the kind of mother of all reality shows. Been going for 18 seasons since 2007. I think you know what I'm going to bring up anyway. Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Walt, what do you have to say about that show, that family, everything they've been through? Do you follow it like all of us do?
Oh, yeah, I love watching the Kardashians. At first, when I first started watching the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, it was for, how do we say, carnal reasons, with the big butts and whatnot. And
you're still married then, is that correct?
Well, I'm still married now, but it's more of like a technicality because it takes time to get a divorce in the state of Indiana. Mike Pence did a lot of good work on suppressing the rights of wives. That still is, being worked out. But listen, what were we talking about?
the Kardashians.
Yeah, okay, so I watched it for carnal reasons, horny man reasons. You're stuck alone in your man cave and you have to figure out how to spend 2 hours and whatnot. But these Kardashians, they live interesting lives. And they got a whole new cast this year. Whole new different group of Kardashians. I don't recognize any of them.
Well, just like how everything has changed since 2007, so has even their literal faces and bodies.
Wait, what do you mean the faces have changed? You can't change anyone's face. What do you mean the faces changed?
The plastic surgery. I mean, look at what's going on with Chloe right now. Everyone's asking her, why do you look so different in every picture?
Chloe left the show. There's a different woman on there.
Well, I'm just talking about the family
Her name's
in
also
general.
Chloe, right?
No, that's Chloe.
What's
she had cosmetic surgery. Well,
wait, what's...
How do you claim to be a fan of the celebrities and everything that goes on? You don't even know about...
What's plastic surgery?
Well, are you joking? Are you...
You just get, like, a new face?
Yeah.
Is it expensive?
Oh, yeah.
Have you had it?
Yes. Everyone has had it. This is Los Angeles.
How do I get it? Casey, tell me. It's your old friend, Walt
You
Tremblay.
find a doctor. I can give you a great doctor.
I need this.
A lot of procedures are, you pay like cash. There's no insurance.
Well,
These are elective cosmetic procedures.
Do they take payment in autographs from primarily the 1990s?
I don't think so.
Early 90s.
Well, a lot of their clients are actual celebrities with money. What are they going to do with an autograph? They get it themselves if they want that.
Listen, I got one I've been keeping in the safe. I got one of Princess Diana. Now, the media killed her. The media killed her like a dog. They ran her corpse over. They hit her. Right?
I'm willing to bet you also have the Princess Diana Beanie Baby. You're a Beanie Baby guy, weren't you? Well, you're a Beanie Baby guy.
I am a Beanie Baby guy. Hopefully that'll make the TikTok lesbos lay off of me, huh? Do they like that? Is that a term of endearment?
Well, you got to chill out a little bit on the TikTok stuff.
Not on the lesbian stuff, though. I'm good on that.
I don't see what you have against them.
I have nothing against them. They're just very mean to me.
We don't want you to
I've
get canceled.
seen how mean they can be.
Still want you to get canceled, if you know what I mean.
I'm covered in skin tags. They love skincare. They're going to eat me alive, Casey.
Speaking of Princess Diana, what about the current royals? Prince Harry, Meghan? What do you got to say about them?
Harry and Meghan, they don't like the media. Which, good for them.
Well, they moved here, right to L.A., where they could be the celebrities they're meant to be. I mean, just the other day, they called the police because there was drones flying out of their L.A. home. People are getting crazy. I'm sure you know better than anyone. The paparazzi here are relentless.
Now,
but for good reason.
I'm a militant Democratic guy. I believe in the process. And I think all kings and queens should be killed. And when Queen whatever first came here to visit, I was the first one throwing knives at that Pope Mobile, whatever it was, saying, we got to get her ass. And they arrested me. They dragged me away and whatnot. And I don't like these royals
I find that
coming
surprising.
over here.
You don't seem like kind of like a one to stir the pot.
I like voting. I like voting for the people, and you got a king
Are you
and queen.
sure you didn't dream that, Walt? Like that was just a fantasy you had? I don't see you really stepping up or being violent or...
I got yelled at. I was going out, and then my ex-wife,
I'm gonna
technically still my
okay,
wife.
Walt,
said at the door, she's like, "You're going to see the queen, aren't you? With
Walt.
your knives. Give me your knives." I said, "I don't have any knives."
I'm gonna stop
on
you
me.
there. I'm gonna stop
and
you
then
right
she
there.
immediately said, "Check your right pocket. That's your knife
Walt.
holding pocket." And there was a knife in there, and I handed it to her. And I began to walk past her, and she immediately said, "What about your left sock? I see a clear kitchen knife in there. It's not
Walt.
even hidden." And you know what? I had no knives, right? But I wanted to kill the queen, right? They talk about it in all those good punk songs. I don't listen to punk, but they seem pretty on the ball. And you know what? I don't like it. What? Sorry, I'm being rude. I'm fucking up.
No, you're fine. I mean, you're doing you, which is what it's all about here in this city. And I'm going to say that I'm going to have to dish on you a little bit.
Uh-oh.
We did a background check on you, Walt. You've never been arrested.
Oh, God.
You've never done any, in accordance with the law, you have a flawless record. And I'm beginning to think that it's because anytime you even became close to being in trouble with the law, they didn't want to have to keep talking to you, or they just thought you were such a nice guy that you were harmless.
I have talked to the CIA. I've spent a lot of time with the CIA.
Okay,
Yeah.
now we're dishing. What was that about?
They said I can't talk about it. It had to do with aliens in space and marijuana,
What?
which I don't like. Gives me a headache. But, it was a lot of stuff like that. The CIA, they were very mad at me. Check this out. Hold on. Do you mind if I take my shoes and my socks off in front of you without explanation? I need a yes and no on this. I need a yes and no on that right now. I'm not going to... Okay. I will leave my shoes and socks on.
You want a yes or no on what?
If I can take my shoes and my socks off.
Let's not do that, Walt. Okay.
Anyway, they tore all my toenails off. It looks like pig knuckles. 5 little pig knuckles of alternating size on my toes. It's disgusting.
Okay. Well, why don't we move on? Okay.
They're disgusting. And the CIA was very mad at me.
Sorry, my producer is saying, they're telling me that we gotta kind of redirect here. We'll just clip this stuff out.
Sounds good. You're the professionals. I'm
You
just
gotta
happy.
stop talking about your feet. Okay, for one.
I'm just happy to be here.
Okay, that's great. We're glad you came by. You won the contest.
Thank you. I ate so much meat-based lasagna.
Now, what do you think about Taylor Swift? She destroyed Trump over his moral superiority. She vowed to get him out of office in November.
Oh, good for her. Yeah, she likes saying stuff real ambiguously about once every 6 months. It's a good move. And she put on some weight recently. I was very excited about that. I have a friend that was also incredibly excited about her putting on a slight amount of weight.
Really? A lot of people
Yeah.
kind of, people can go, they can be kind of nasty about that. A lot of people were criticizing her.
No, he was almost describing her in a biblical form of sexuality because she put on like 5 pounds. It was very carnal, and the sexual energy that emanated from him was frankly intimidating. I thought, it's a great thing. I wouldn't get super excited about it, but he's a different beast than me.
Okay, well,
I'm not a big fan of Trump, Casey. A lot of people see an old white man, right, from Indiana, and they think this guy's gotta love Trump. He's a big Trump guy. No siree, Casey. I don't like Trump. He's a thug. He likes to say stuff and point and say, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna do this, I'm a thug. That's what he says. But I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of Trump. And I'm glad Taylor finally shut him up, because after Taylor said that, he stopped tweeting, right?
true.
You don't go up against Taylor. She's got a lot of very mean young fans that will make fun of your skin tags or whatever. If you are an old man, do not post pictures of yourself on the internet and then have an opinion about someone under the age of 40. You're dead. You're dead. I've been trying to scrub every picture of me from the internet for about 3 years now. It doesn't work. I don't know how to do it. I emailed Google. They won't help me.
Well, you're getting a little bit political here. So I'm going to steer it in that same path. What do you think about Meghan McCain revealing that she won't post any pregnancy updates? Not even pictures? What do you think about that?
Well, it's probably because she probably got a fake lady to get pregnant like the Kardashians did. Meghan McCain's made a bunch of money off. Yeah, she's made a bunch of money by being the hot one on The View for so long that I don't think she wants to risk that. She's just such a hot piece, and I don't agree with her politically. But I see what her husband Michael Ian Black saw in her, and that she's just a hot piece of ass. And she wants to She wants to protect that swimsuit bod of hers you know? By getting a fake lady to get all the nut and egg up in her and then making the baby. You know, but Meghan McCain, you know, her political opinions are awful. Awful. She's a warmonger. She's stupid. Her dead dad can't raise his arms, and still she goes out there talking all the goddamn time, waving a finger, her hot pocket breath blowing all over everybody in the studio. But you know what? You cannot deny that she is possibly the hottest woman of all time. Is that too much?
They're telling. Well, they're okay. We're going to shift again. Walt, let's talk about. I talked about reality TV. What about drama or just, you know, serial TV shows? What are your favorites? You know, does Walt Tremblay have to watch every episode of Riverdale when it premieres? Or
I love those kids on Riverdale. They're always, you know, Jughead's going to the CIA, and then Veronica's getting in a lesbian sex cabal with a bunch of witches, and they gotta kill a guy. It's crazy. I don't remember that happening in the comics at all, but it seems like they're pretty canon. So it's like a lot of times I'm watching the shows, I'm rubbing my eyes.
The show can be a little bit more darker or more serious than the classic Archie comics that all of our parents read.
I was mostly a gum guy, so I didn't really read the comics. I was mostly going for the gum. But I guess I should have read the comics, because there would have been lesbian, like, witch sex and like Jughead's asexual except for ice cream or something. I should have read
He likes
those.
cheeseburgers.
Right.
And malted milkshakes.
Ice cream, like I said, which is the primary ingredient in milkshakes.
Do you think Archie and Betty are destined?
I think they're destined to probably die because their small town is full of evil witches and like secret
murder,
agents.
scandals.
Yeah, they're all dead. They're all dead.
That's an interesting theory, Walt. I think that's been posed a few times on, like, you know, the subreddits and on Twitter. Everyone's wondering what really is happening in Riverdale.
Yeah, they're gonna die to all the guns and the, you know, secret agents and the witches. They're gonna kill him or something. I don't know.
So does that freak you out? Are you a big fan of American Horror Story, Walt?
Oh, American Horror Story. I love it. What's his name? The director, what's his name?
Ryan Murphy, creator of Glee, Nip Tuck.
He loves making shows that's just like, well, what if this happened? And what are you going to do? And then he doesn't think about the next show. And then the next show is, well, then we do this, and then what happens? And and it just keeps going. It's like an ocean.
You're right.
It doesn't
But I
feel
think that's
like
why people like it. It's creative.
Yeah.
It's kind of on the fly. Like, they just make it up every week. They just
doesn't
make
feel like
extravagant
you're in the-
sets and costumes with not really any story, or it's all kind of just aimless, and it's all like
It doesn't feel like you're watching a TV
it
show
feels
at
like
all.
it almost feels like a dream that you bought at the store.
It feels like you gave Robin Williams some cocaine and you just asked him to talk for 7 seasons in a row. And then that's American Horror Story.
Were you a True Blood guy? Another, you know, Alan Ball, another prominent gay man director.
Let me show you right now.
Sexy
Let me
show.
show you right now. True Blood, I'm a big fan, but I'm holding my hands above the table right now. Hands are above the table for True Blood because, I'm not too man to say, but you watch a couple scenes of that show, your nipples are gonna get pretty hard.
Whoa, Walt.
Tried to get my wife to ex-wife, still technically legally my wife. The divorce is not finalized. Tried to get what is technically my wife, who wants nothing to do with me, to watch it, and she wouldn't. She said it's a bunch of LA hedonism, and that she was going over to her gym partner's house.
Well, Walt, I think you're doing a fantastic job. You made it to Hollywood.
Well, yeah. I took a flight. Hopefully.
You didn't let the haters bring you down, Walt.
Well, we'll see. Like I said,
do you have a lot of haters, Walt? Do you have a lot of haters, people that want to bring you down in your life and want you to not succeed?
Most people that spend any extended amount of time with me end up harshly disliking me because of the volume of my voice and how much I talk. And just, I've heard women say they don't like how I say the word lesbian because they say I enunciate everything when I say lesbian. And I make it sound like it's evil, which I thought they'd think was cool nowadays, right? With everyone liking witches and whatnot, with what the kids think is cool, right? I'm one of the good guys, right? I'm one of the good guys. I don't like Trump. He's a thug.
Well, I want to, go to what you prepared. You said you were bringing something today, which we are going to allow you to.
Well, you guys said I could do some movie reviews, right?
Yeah. So what are we going to do? We're going to be doing like the latest. You're going to be doing. I thought you were going to be doing maybe like a review on the latest Netflix documentary or something like that. Like, what does Walt Tremblay think about the Tiger King or something like that? But a movie review.
I was talking to your producer, right? And he said, well, do something easy. And I said, like, what's easy? And he said, do a movie review. And I'm like, well, I got a lot of opinions. I could do a movie review. Like, but what movie? He goes, I don't know. What's the last 2 movies you saw? I'm like, I don't know. You see lots of movies, repeats and whatnot. He's like, the last 2 movies you saw in theaters. So I'm going to do the last 2 movies that I saw in the theater. All right, the first movie is a great movie. You ever heard of Face Off?
Like the show about, makeup in TV shows and
that's Nip Tuck.
It's a great show. No. Face Off is a reality show where professional makeup artists compete.
Oh, no, Face Off is...
I can't believe you haven't seen that, Walt. Seems like to be right up your alley.
It's the original movie that has a slash in it. This is the first time a movie had a slash in it. Face Off.
A slash?
Like
the guitarist was in the film, or...
No, the one...
from that ancient band?
the font thing that goes from the left to the right.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, they're showing me now. They're showing me. Okay. Wait, this was a movie?
I thought it was in 1997. This is the last time I saw a movie in the theater.
Oh, okay. I was about 3, so...
I don't want to tell you how old I was. I was quite aged, but, I don't want to reveal too much, even though I've already said my age about 4 times. Face Off. All right, here we go. Walt Tremblay's movie reviews.
You're going to hear it for the first time here, folks. Walt Tremblay's movie reviews. This is Face Off from 1998.
7.
It's okay.
Heading to the movies with your classic bucket of popcorn, you might want to bring a lid with it, because this flick will have you jumping and jiving in your seat from all the hot action, slick suits, and explosions that might leave the whole theater covered in butter, because you're jumping around and your popcorn's gonna fly everywhere because you're so excited about the movie. Starring the twin heartthrobs of Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, who were as attractive as you were allowed to be in 1997 without being called gay. They play a cat and mouse game as FBI agent and terrorists that swap each other's faces in order to save the world or something. I don't know. There was a bomb. I think it was going to destroy Los Angeles. But, that can't happen because that's where the movie magic happens. Things start to get weird as they trick each other, they track each other down, they both fuck each other's wives and girlfriends in a moment that is supposed to make you think it is cool. But honestly, I was not okay with it. You shouldn't do women like that. You need to be upfront with women at all times. It may not win you a lot of popularity contests, but it's the right thing to do. Take my wife, for instance. Ex-wife, but technically still wife because the trial is pending, because I'm contesting the divorce, but that's not here or there. If my wife's breath smells bad, even slightly bad, even if I detect a hint of musk on it, I will put my finger right up between her lips as she attempts to say something, and I will tell her it stinks. Because if I was in that situation, that is what I would want somebody to do to me. Tell me that my breath stinks, even the slightest bit, and I'd be big enough to thank them. Anyway, this movie doesn't allow you to think that it's bad for a second, because it is so loud you aren't even able to question if you are having fun or not. It's going to be the hit of the summer of 2020. I give Face Off 100 stars.
100 stars? Is that what you just said?
I give Face Off 100 stars.
So that's your rating system instead of a percentage. Okay.
It's between 0 and 100.
All right. Thank you, Walt.
So
so that's it for Walt Tremblay's movie reviews.
I got one more movie review. He said come with two.
All right. They're telling me that you got it. But no, they're telling me that we're going to let you do it. We're going to let you do it, I guess. We're going to let him.
Do you not want me to read it, or?
Walt, will you please read the review? Thank you.
Casey, are you mad at me? I'm afraid right now. It's like a feeling I'm getting that I don't. Are you mad at me, Casey? What do you want me to do?
You've gone through seven of those Diet Pepsis.
Do you want me to lay down on the ground so you can walk on me? What do you want from little old Walt Tremblay? I'm not used to these Hollywood games.
Please, I asked you nicely. Please read the next review.
Shooter.
Please read the next review,
Casey,
Walt.
I'm a straight shooter.
You don't got to keep bickering. Just read the next review, Walt.
Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks plays an intuitive and curious man with a crippling disability. Because he was born in Alabama, he leads a frankly exhausting life full of goofy-ass shit, ranging all over the continental USA, all because he was in love with some lady, some filly with, I'm sorry, but I have to say it, she has a village bicycle mentality that, frankly, buddy, you couldn't find me falling in with. I'm sorry. So then he plays table tennis or something, and you're supposed to be just like, yay, Forrest, go, Forrest, just because he had the bad luck of being born in Alabama. And he can run fast because he was bullied or something. I'm not sure. He just had magic legs at one point. He teaches Elvis dance moves on accident because Elvis is a canonical pedophile in the movie. People are always teaching Elvis stuff in movies, but they're not teaching him to not marry children or whatever. Anyway, he goes to Vietnam, which I might say isn't as bad as movies depict. As long as you got the boat duty, according to my uncle, he was just slaying Tang all day. But that's just him. I don't know. That's just him. Anyway, Forrest comes back and Gary Sinise gets mad at him. I don't know. It's just kind of a movie that goes, remember that? Over and over and over again. Basically, Forrest Gump is like catnip for old people. I loved it. I don't understand it. I took absolutely nothing away from it philosophically or morally, and I give Forrest Gump 100 stars.
Quite a review. I mean, for both, you gave them a full perfect score, Walt.
I love sitting and watching movies. What can I say?
Do you love movies more than reality TV?
I love them pretty much equally. I love sitting down in front of the boob tube. They used to. You remember that, Case? You're too young. But I love just sitting there watching and getting entertained.
Okay, well, we're going to probably be, wrapping this up soon.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
I wanted to come up out here and I fantasized about what I would say. And as a particular fandom member, I feel very betrayed. I don't know how to express it. You can see me kind of choking up here, a little confused. I was I don't know how to, where to start, Casey, but I was Meghan Trainor's biggest fan. Did you know that?
Well, you put it in your profile.
She ushered in the era of the big booty, and I loved her big ass, and I loved her singing about her big ass constantly, doing like 10 songs in a row about how big a stinking ass was, and I loved it. I loved Meghan Trainor. She did a song with Little Kim or something, and they both sang about their big asses, and I just smiled. I smiled. And it hurts me because I found out 2 critical pieces of information just an hour before the show, because I came out here and I wanted to talk about Meghan Trainor and how good she was and how much I loved her. And Meghan Trainor is married to the kid from Spy Kids. And also, she just recently lost over 10 pounds. What a betrayal. What a betrayal to the people who loved her. The kid from Spy Kids with his curly hair, I want to smash his face in. Meghan Trainor. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that, Megan? Which one's my camera? Are you recording?
No, you're not on camera. No.
What the fuck am I crying for, Casey? What the?
You don't have to cry, Walt.
TMZ, they sit in an office. I thought somebody was filming this whole thing.
No. We're not there yet. This is only the episode, the first episode, okay?
Yeah, I'm trying. God. Sorry. I'm sorry. I got
so you're
very
upset
emotional.
with the kid from Spy Kids?
Yeah, he married Meghan Trainor. She's too good for him. And Meghan Trainor, she talked about all of her big butt and stuff. She doesn't have the right to lose that weight. She needs to sing more songs, doo-wop style songs about having a big ass and how her mom likes that she has a big ass.
Her mom? What
she
are you
always
talking
says
about?
she always says in her songs that her mom says it's a good thing to have a big ass and that boys like it, which is a weird thing to tell your daughter, I think. But I don't judge it. I don't judge her life, you know?
So you're over Meghan Trainor?
I'm over her. And I need somebody else to attach all my hopes and dreams to. I tried getting into K-pop, but it's so confusing. They got so many videos attached to everything. And they're all slaves. Everyone in K-pop's a weird slave under contract, not allowed to have sex with
Well,
anybody.
you can't. Walt, chill. You can't be talking about that. I mean, K-pop's huge right now. We can't be making those claims, Walt.
They're legally not allowed to have girlfriends. What the fuck is that about? That's fucking weird. Right?
The sacrifices you make in the industry.
Meghan Trainor's allowed to get married to the kids from Spy Kids, but they're not allowed to even get, have sex or whatever.
It's not our country, Walt.
Well, maybe it could be. We've made other countries. It's not here or there.
Okay, okay. So, just another minute, okay.
Casey, are you mad at me? I'm sorry. I didn't know when I was mad. I got a little emotional and stuff. I messed up stuff. And you're not going to sick those
We're going to have to cut this out, too. So.
TikTok women or whatever on me, right? Because, look, I'm covered in these skin and I'm old, and if they roast me, I'll die. My doctor says I can't take much anxiety. I'm a dead man.
I would ask you if there's anything else you'd like to say on the show, but I think we're out of time, so I'm just going to
I'm a dead man walking,
close
Casey.
it out here. Thank you so much for joining us on The Dish.
You better cut it so that I look good, Casey, because if you make me look bad, I'm a dead man walking. I have a heart condition. I have every medical condition you could ever imagine.
So I can do the outro. Well, I'm going to need you to...
skin tags all over me.
Well, we're going to have to mute your mic.
If I get roasted, if I get a single quote tweet, I'm dead. I'm dead. You know that the blood will be on your hands, Casey.
Well, we're going to have to take a pause here so I can do the outro.
You're going to tell my ex-wife, right, that she is legally still my wife, and if I die,
this has been the first episode of MyWeekly.com's
She has to come to my funeral.
Dish.
And I want you to mail my ashes. You're going to cremate me.
I can't.
You're going to mail my ashes to Meghan Trainor.
We're just going to have to record it in post when he's gone. We're just going to record it in post.
You're going to have to do it. Right? People say she was anti-feminist and whatever because she talked about the fat guys and stuff, but she wanted the hot guys even though she was a fat lady, and that wasn't fair. And you know what? I always defended her even though she messed up. She messed up saying she never had a song saying that a 59-year-old man with skin tags could be sexy. You know what? And that's fucked up. That's fucked up, and she should never have done that. And Casey, if you ever call me out on this, I am not a fucking target for you. I just, you know what? I gotta get the fuck out. I gotta get the fuck out of here. All right, just scrub my name. I never came. Fuck, I'll never eat Stouffer's lasagna again.
The following is an archived podcast presented by the Branson and Hudson Foundation for Podcast Recovery. This podcast is entitled Dividends in Arrears. It is the first and only episode of the podcast. Welcome to episode 1.
Money. That got your attention, huh? Hey, but once you get that money, then what? The famous Notorious B.I.G. once said famously, more money, more problems. Buddy, that's because you didn't have an accountant. Just kidding. He also got shot in the head. A true tragedy. But if you want more money, you hire us to take care of your more problems. And if that makes sense to you, we'll make you some dollars. And you need to both have cash and cachet. And it's better to be fond of the bond than to flock to the stock. Now here's some advice you better pay a real rate of interest to. I'd appreciate the sentiment. Welcome to Dividends in Arrears, where we will be held accountable to keep an eye on your cold, hard cash. I am joined here by my two co-hosts. My name is Belmont LaRue, and I run The Money Question, a business organization firm in LA where I deal with the celebs and their finances and everything from their taxes to insurance to payroll of their teams and their support networks. I run a small team of 5, but my two co-hosts here are equally as remarkable. First, let me introduce my co-host, Lucas Vogel.
Thank you for having me on. I'm so happy to be on here talking money and ways of saving money. And very cool.
All right, I'm glad we got you here away from say Guten Tag to you in real life, Lucas.
I spend most of my time here in the United States. You guys have it a little bit different. You don't follow, from I come from Germany. We follow Handelsgesetzbuch, and those are our rules, our codes for everything. And it can be a little bit different, but for the most part, a lot of the things, all the principles all apply. And I am the author of the book Geldgenie, which means the money genius, which is not just about accounting or the markets or stuff like that, but even just money saving tips in general for your life.
Well, one thing we love about money is that it's the same everywhere you go. But I will say LA is a little bit different than Dusseldorf. And we are also joined by our first guest, a Mr. Michael Chestnut. Michael, say hello, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Chestnut. You may or may not have heard of me. Let me just give myself a brief introduction. I'm Michael Chestnut. My career started at PwC. I spent 4 years there doing my CGA. Then I spent a couple of years at Ernst & Young doing my CMA. I did my CPA at Grant Thornton, where I spent about 2.5 years in internal audit. And then I did my...
Hey, those college years go by fast, huh?
They do. But now I'm an internal auditor at a dog food store.
I imagine whatever you majored in, you should have probably majored in playing some Mario Kart while drinking some Blue Moons, huh?
Oh, I did a bit of that in college, too.
Well, on to business. That's why we're all here, gentlemen, and we'll talk a little bit about, who we are, some of our main things that we're pushing. I am, a little bit of an Instagram diva, not gonna lie. I run a celebrity-exclusive firm. Just going through a little bit to kind of pump my own CV a little bit. Some of the celebrities I represent: Stacy Keach, Jussie Smollett, Clint Howard. I represent Fred Claus. Mark McGrath, Dennis Miller. I represent Rob Riggle. I know it's a big favorite of Michael's. Little Nicky, Orlando Jones, Sprite Guy, Will Sasso, Michael McDonald, Aries Spear. I basically had Mad TV on lockdown.
I could not believe when you told me that you're having lunch with Terrence Howard. He's like my favorite actor. So.
Oh yeah, Terrence and me, we go way back.
They came up with a new form of math, which I thought was fascinating. Michael said it wasn't possible, but I said, anything's possible. That's the beauty of math. But he knows a little bit more about it than me.
If you can imagine it, you can do it.
He was very adamant about 0 and 1 being the same number and how 0 is impossible to exist. And he had a whole speech he went over and tried to get me to put that in terms of money. And I was like, Terrence, baby, I love you, but you do what you do. I do what I do. All right.
Well, the ancient Greeks thought that movement wasn't actually possible for similar reasons like that, and now they're all dead. So
It shows them, huh?
Yeah, it does.
And a famous thing about the Greeks is they had very little cold hard cash.
That's true.
I also represent Pamela Anderson, Carmen Electra. Don't stay in your seats, boys.
Oh.
Lisa Ann, Riley Reid,
my.
Sarah J, Gianna Michaels. Yeah. And, it's not just, American celebrities. We're kind of an international thing. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, represent him. Bashar al-Assad, Hassan Rouhani. So I got my fingers, our firm's I'm really proud of my little firms. Kind of, started it all by myself with a little help from, my father, and we're able to get some great clients on lockdown, and really proud of the work we've done. Haven't had a single audit by the IRS, so I know those guys are happy.
It's the worst when you get audited. It's so, not like I'm worried or concerned about anything, and every position I've had, my books have always been impeccable. I have a great track record. I've got a lot of great advice from both of you guys. Michael, he excels at Excel. Let's just say that. It's not an easy job to be in. Working in accounting or finance. Some people do both. There's a big difference between the two, but I think the three of us can all agree we've kind of mastered the art of it. And though it's not easy, once you take the guilt off the gingerbread, it's really kind of a passion of ours. And
it really is amazing to have such diverse perspectives of everyone here. So, for example, getting the accounting perspective and the finance perspective and the investments perspective, like getting every single side of the issue is amazing when we're all working together.
Let me ask you, Michael, what would your day-to-day look like at the job you're doing now? I'm sorry, what was it that you said it was?
I'm an internal auditor at a dog food store, and the first thing people will tell you about my industry is that there's no typical day. Typically I get in at about 7:30 a.m. Have a cup of coffee. I typically read market news.
Oh, you gotta have a coffee.
You
gotta have your coffee.
You gotta be awake. Have a cup of coffee. I typically
me too.
3, please. Just kidding.
Oh, this guy's.
My heart was going crazy.
Were you burning the midnight oil again?
I was just I walk by my desk. I wake up, to use the wash closet, and then I see my computer and my 5 monitors, and I can't help myself. I said, well, it's in the middle of the night. What can be going on? But there's always something going on, and I got to see those numbers.
Michael, go ahead about.
Well, okay, just the way I spend most of the rest of my mornings. And the afternoons are a little more free form, so I can't really speak on a typical day of that. But I typically open up Yahoo Finance, type in S&P 500, and then look at that graph for a few hours.
Well, it sounds busy. It sounds very demanding.
There's plenty of days where Michael and I will meet up for lunch. My preferred lunch. 3 beers, usually three pints of a lager.
Something's got to take the edge off all that coffee.
That's not unheard of in the whole world of Handelsbuch. And here it's a little bit. People go, "Oh, you're crazy drinking 3 beers at lunch." I said, "Oh, this is nothing." And Michael, he says, I'll just have a bourbon. And I said, well, it's a little bit strong.
A little more sensible.
But he says it helps him think.
I really am glad, we got you to agree to host this podcast with me, Lucas, because I have always admired your just ruthless German efficiency. Even looking at the notes you take, bullet points, your handwriting is essentially the Calibri font. Everything's so clean.
It's hard to fall in the stereotype of German men, Germans in general, being efficient. We kind of follow the work hard, play hard mentality. So once Friday night rolls around, I'm putting on my best jeans that have like some designs in the pockets and they're bright blue, and I go to a club with all my friends called like Rock and Roll Party, and we dance, and then we go to bed before midnight. But it's always crazy. It's such a good time. It's wild. I love it.
Every time I've been in
Yeah.
Dusseldorf, putting on those G-Star jeans is the highlight of my night.
Oh, that super tight V-neck shirt that's only tight around my belly and loose everywhere else, and the V goes all the way down to my navel. I truly love my summers in Dusseldorf.
I'm always glad to have
go-
you guys to come, and it's so awesome, and we get crazy. I mean, like I said, kind of like people who you've probably seen, The Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, it's kind of like how we get
It's almost a documentary for some
exactly,
of us.
My
yeah,
favorite
documentary.
club.
That's true.
My favorite club in Dusseldorf is that club called Rap Star, where all the waitresses are in blackface.
It's crazy times.
And even your desk in your office, Lucas, just the single MacBook Air, and then just those 4 balls that bounce back and forth. It really is just